It was a crime that shattered the nation's innocence, a crime that turned every parent's worst nightmare into a chilling reality. On March 1, 1932, the unthinkable happened. Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr., the 20-month-old son of American hero Charles Lindbergh, vanished, snatched from his crib in the dead of night. The nation held its breath. Hope and fear intertwined as the largest manhunt in American history commenced. This was no ordinary kidnapping. This was the Lindbergh baby. Charles Lindbergh was more than just a pilot. He was Lucky Lindy, the man who conquered the Atlantic solo. He was an American icon. His wife, Anne Morrow Lindbergh, was a celebrated author and poet. Their baby, little Lindy, was America's son. The kidnapping sent shockwaves through every corner of the country. It dominated headlines. Radio broadcasts crackled with the latest updates. The nation was captivated. This wasn't just a family's tragedy, it was a national crisis. The story unfolded in the quiet countryside of Hopewell, New Jersey. High atop Sourland Mountain sat the Lindbergh estate, a custom-built home for the famous family. It was supposed to be their sanctuary, a place of peace away from the prying eyes of the public. But on that fateful night, evil found its way into their haven. The disappearance sparked a nationwide frenzy. The media descended upon Hopewell. The public followed, desperate for any news. Tips poured in from every corner of the country. Everyone had a theory. Every lead offered a glimmer of hope. But as days turned into weeks, the mystery deepened. The question on everyone's mind was simple, yet terrifying. Where was baby Lindbergh? The evening of March 1, 1932, started like any other at the Lindbergh residence. Little Lindy had been battling a cold. His nurse, Betty Gow, cared for him tenderly. Around 7:30 p.m., Charles Sr. checked on his son. He even drew a sketch of the toddler in his crib. It would be the last image of little Lindy alive. At 8 p.m., Betty Gow put little Lindy down for the night. She secured the windows, or so she thought. Just after 10 p.m., a chilling sound pierced the quiet night. A noise Charles Sr. would later describe as similar to a broken wooden slat. He dismissed it as a sound from the house settling. He had no idea that at that very moment his son was being stolen. An hour later, Betty Gow returned to check on little Lindy. Empty. The crib was empty. Panic surged through her. She raced to alert the Lindberghs. "The baby is gone!" she cried. Charles immediately grabbed his gun and searched the house and grounds. Nothing. His son was gone. Outside near the nursery window they found a chilling sight. A makeshift ladder lay broken on the ground. Footprints, likely from the kidnapper, marked the soft earth. It was clear this was a kidnapping, and whoever took little Lindy had planned it meticulously. News of the kidnapping spread like wildfire. The nation was gripped by the story. The media frenzy was unlike anything America had ever seen. Reporters camped out at the Lindbergh estate. Every detail, every rumor was splashed across front pages. Law enforcement launched the largest manhunt the country had ever seen. The FBI, still in its early days, was called in. Local police, state troopers, and even ordinary citizens joined the search. They scoured the woods surrounding the estate. They dragged rivers and lakes. They chased down every lead, no matter how far-fetched. The Lindberghs, desperate and heartbroken, cooperated fully with the investigation. They also made a public plea for their son's safe return. A ransom note, riddled with misspellings and grammatical errors, had been found at the scene. The kidnappers demanded $50,000. The Lindberghs, despite their immense wealth, agreed to pay. They were willing to do anything to get their son back. A series of intermediaries and go-betweens emerged, claiming to have connections to the kidnappers. Hope flickered with each new contact, only to be extinguished when the leads turned cold. The nation watched, prayed, and waited for any sign of little Lindy. Section 4. Faces of the Tragedy, the Lindberghs and the Accused. The kidnapping thrust the Lindbergh family into the harshest spotlight imaginable. Charles, the stoic hero, now grappled with unimaginable grief and helplessness. Anne, the insightful writer, poured her anguish and fading hope into her diaries. The world watched their every move, their every tear. Amidst the chaos, a name emerged as the prime suspect: Bruno Richard Hauptmann, a German immigrant carpenter with a criminal past. Hauptmann came to the attention of authorities after he was caught spending gold certificates that matched the ransom money. Hauptmann's arrest in September 1934, over 2 years after the kidnapping, sent a wave of relief across the nation. Finally, it seemed, justice would be served. Section 5. Clues in the Shadows, the evidence in the trial of Bruno Hauptmann. The trial of Bruno Richard Hauptmann was a media spectacle. Cameras and microphones were banned from the courtroom, but that didn't stop the public from being captivated by every detail. The prosecution presented a compelling case against Hauptmann. They produced the ransom notes, handwriting experts who testified that the writing matched Hauptmann's, and witnesses who placed him near the Lindbergh estate on the night of the kidnapping. They even presented evidence that part of the ladder used in the kidnapping had been constructed with tools and wood from Hauptmann's attic. Hauptmann maintained his innocence throughout the trial. He claimed he was being framed. His defense attorneys argued that the evidence against him was circumstantial. They pointed to inconsistencies in witness testimonies and questioned the reliability of the handwriting analysis. However, the weight of the evidence was too much to overcome. On February 13, 1935, the jury returned a guilty verdict. Hauptmann was sentenced to death. Despite his pleas of innocence, he was executed on April 3, 1936. Section 6, A Nation Transformed, The Legacy of the Lindbergh Case. The Lindbergh Baby Kidnapping left an indelible mark on America. It shattered the nation's sense of security. It exposed the dark side of fame and the insatiable hunger of the media. It also led to significant changes in law enforcement procedures and the way future kidnappings were handled. In the wake of the tragedy, Congress passed the Lindbergh Law, which made kidnapping a federal crime. This allowed federal law enforcement agencies like the FBI to have greater jurisdiction and resources to investigate kidnappings that cross state lines. The case also highlighted the need for more sophisticated forensic techniques. Fingerprinting and handwriting analysis, still relatively new at the time, played a crucial role in the investigation and trial. But perhaps the most profound impact of the Lindbergh case was the way it changed the lives of everyday Americans. Parents became more protective of their children. Neighborhoods became more vigilant. The innocence of a nation was lost, replaced by a newfound awareness of the evil that lurked in the shadows. Section 7. Never forget remembering the crime that shocked a nation. The Lindbergh Baby Kidnapping remains one of the most infamous crimes in American history. It's a story that continues to fascinate and horrify. It's a reminder of the darkness that can touch even the brightest lives. Though decades have passed, the memory of little Lindy lives on. It serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance, the value of justice, and the enduring power of hope, even in the face of unimaginable tragedy. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on this tragic case.